Hey guys, so today I am filming a look. Well, I already filmed the look, but it will come out like this. I am going to be trying some new products for you. I'm going to be trying the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice Palette. I'm going to be trying the Colourpop All-Star Setting Spray as well as the Colourpop All-Star Primer. Some Colourpop brow products that I haven't tried yet, and I also got the translucent shade in the setting powder. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, how I feel about the products, and basically just kind of get ready with me, please continue to watch. So guys, my air conditioner is on again. It's still crazy hot here. It's not 100, but it's like 90 today, so the air will be on, otherwise I will be sweating. Side note, like, my eyebrow lady took off a piece of my eyebrow here and we're slowly gonna rebuild. I'm a little sad about it, I'm not gonna lie, but it looks fine when it's filled in, but when it's not filled in, it's a little crazy right there. But my eyes are primed. I used the Colourpop concealer and set it with the Colourpop translucent powder that I just got in the mail. Today I'm going to be trying a few different things. The first thing is this Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette. But this packaging is like gorgeous. I love this. Like, it looks like a wave of colors. Honestly, I know this is crazy, but if anybody listens to like rap music, Futures, there's like an album cover, or I think it's Purple Rain, the cover of the song is like this blown out smoke, and I think that that's what this looks like. It's really cool. On the back it just shows the shades. I'm not probably going to read them, only because we'll be here forever. I'll probably give you the wrong shades, so we're just gonna kind of go with it. I'll show you the palette as we go along. This is the inside of the palette. It is beautiful. I've tried this already. I did a poll on Instagram and asked what you guys wanted to see. So I have tried this already. A lot of people said that they wanted a plan tutorial, and a lot of people said they wanted like a first impressions. It was really 50-50. So I've decided to just kind of do a plan tutorial. Today I'm going to do something really light. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I've been doing a lot of like eyeshadow looks, and specifically today I want to focus more on like my complexion. I'm going to be trying some new complexion products too, so I'm just going to kind of do a nice soft eye with a small false lash. I don't even know if I'm actually going to do a false lash, but this is going to be more of like an everyday bronze look. So I am going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brown shade right here, and yeah, I'm not going to even try. I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to put it in my crease, and I'm going to just kind of messily put this anywhere. This is gonna map out my eye. I'm gonna blow the shadow out pretty far because I'm gonna go in with concealer and foundation and everything later to clean it up, but I want to blow it out pretty far to give it like a diffuse look. I've seen things, like I watched a couple of reviews. I know some people don't watch reviews. I like to watch reviews only because sometimes I feel like you don't necessarily know how to use a product, so first impressions can be tricky if you're doing them on your own, because it could be something super simple that you're doing, you know, not necessarily wrong, but something super simple that you just have to tweak for you to like something that you could actually just end up hating because you didn't kind of look into different ways to do it. So I like to watch other people's opinions and see what other people have kind of run into issue-wise. That way when I try something, I can kind of see the different ways to do it. And when I've seen reviews on this, I saw a lot of people say that the mattes were very patchy or hard to blend out. I haven't used any of like the grays or the purples, and those can be tough to blend out, but I have used the warm tone browns and I've used the pinks and stuff like that, and to be honest with you, I find zero problem with them. I think that they're extremely pigmented, and I think that they've blended on me, like, as you can tell, beautifully. Do I think the palette is worth what I paid for it? I paid $62 for it with tax. So that being said, no, I don't think it's worth $62 whatsoever. I think the shimmers are pretty lackluster. They're nothing like popping crazy intense. The mattes are nice, but do I think it's necessary? Absolutely not. So that would be, I guess, the only thing I would say. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to take this red shade right here. And I'm going to take a little bit of it, I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm just going to put this a little lower in the crease. And And I'm going to focus this more on the outside of my crease. Also, I do want to say, to make a matte shadow, I think is a lot harder than a shimmer shadow as far as I'm concerned and from what I've heard. So matte shadows are difficult, and I think that Rihanna did some really good matte shadows. Like this red shade is extremely pigmented. It is not patchy. I have a dry spot in the corner of my eye, so a lot of times when you see on the camera, that's literally just my eye. It's not anything to do with the makeup. But yeah, mattes are pretty hard, and this red shade is extremely pretty and extremely pigmented, and it blends beautifully, and I think that that's very hard to do, especially with this shade right here, which is just like this gold iridescent shimmer. Swatched on the finger, it's pretty much a sheer shade. Like even if I swatch it right here, it's nothing like crazy intense. It's got a lot of reflective glitter in it. So I'm just gonna put this lightly on my eye. I'm not going to put concealer down or anything like that. I just kind of want this to give me a nice sheen to the eye. I'm gonna take this brush again and just kind of clean up my crease because some of that glitter did get into the crease. And then I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is like a bronzy shade. And I'm just gonna take the same brush, like I said, and I'm gonna put this on the outer V of my eye. Honestly, I'm just gonna actually put this on the whole lid. Yeah, I like that much better. It's not that I didn't like that green shade, but on its own, I felt like it looked a little messy. With this shade, it definitely looks more put together for this particular look. If I was doing like a full intense look, I think I would have taken that shade, the first shade, and just put it with concealer under it, and it would have looked much better. But for this particular look, I think this like bronzy color is super pretty. So I am gonna go off camera and just clean up under my eye. So I did finish up under my eyes, and I'm just gonna get a little closer so you guys can see. Put lashes on the outside of my eye and then mascara on the inside. This is just like a light look, and it'll give my eyes like a open effect, but it's not so heavy with a full lash. These are the Siren lashes from House of Lashes. They're like my favorite lash. Let me find them for you. These right here, they are my favorite. They have them in the smaller size, the Siren Lights I think they're called, and I should have gotten those because I have such small eyes that I have to cut them into like half strips and they end up ripping. So that is why I only did like a small lash on the outside, because I only wore the pair like twice and I didn't want to throw them out, so I decided to cut them and just do the outside lash to make it lighter. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be trying the Colourpop All-Star stuff. Specifically, I'm going to try it on camera for you guys. Again, I've tried it twice. This is the second time I've worn it, was this morning, and now I'm going to redo my makeup with it on for you guys. I get a solid like 9 hours or 10 hours of wear out of this before my face starts to look greasy, and like probably 12 or 13 before it breaks up. I've worn it 2 days in a row, like 13 hours at a time, crazy heat, and it stayed so well. I started breaking up, I think, in like this area after like 9 hours of wearing it in 90-degree weather outside, full elements, everything. So I think that's really good. This is the box for it, and it was $10. I literally find that this makes my skin stay matte. I only put on like 3 little swipes. I put one here, one here, a little bit here, here. I'm gonna add a little bit more just for this video because usually I'm able to use both hands. It definitely smells like rose, and it definitely smells like chamomile. It's got a very soothing smell to it. And I haven't broken out or anything yet from it. I've only been using it, like I said, this will be my 3rd time. But usually I can tell if I'm gonna break out from something right away. I did yesterday go in with the Colourpop foundation over it. So I guess today that's what I will do as well. I'm going to take the shade Medium Dark 115 in the Colourpop foundation, and I'm going to apply a very light amount to my finger, and I'm going to just swipe it on my skin. I don't want crazy coverage, so I'm only going to put a light amount, and I'm just going to stipple this into the skin. Foundation is on and blended. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Colourpop concealers. I'm going to take the shade Medium 26 first, and I'm just going to literally put the lightest amount right here. I haven't been concealing my forehead as much. I've been putting like 2 little lines just because I've been finding it looks a little cakey if I put too much. Shade is like almost the best highlight shade for me, but I am going to just add a little bit of light 16, literally just the tiniest swipe. And I'm just going to take my Morphe sponge and blend this out. Now that the concealer is blended out, I'm going to take the Colourpop No Filter setting powders, and this one is in the shade Banana, and this one is in the shade Translucent. And I'm gonna take both of these and set under my eyes. I'm going to take a damp beauty sponge and just tap some of this into the cap. And on the damp beauty sponge, I'm going to take the Translucent first, and I'm gonna just set under my eyes. I then am gonna take the Banana powder. Ooh, this is all like out of the cap already, so there's a lot. And I'm just gonna put this on top of that Translucent. Powder has been sitting for about 40 seconds. I'm just doing a light bake, nothing crazy. I'm gonna take my Morphe brush now and just wipe it away. So I did get this palette, this blush and bronzer palette from TJ Maxx. It's Coastal Scents, which is a brand that I've heard of before, and this is the inside of it. It kind of reminds me, sorry, I have a cat hair as usual. It kind of reminds me of the Tarte, I think it is, blush book. These shades are pretty nice shades on me. I am going to take this brush. This is the Wet n Wild Pro brush. This is the P72. It's a blush brush, and it is their summer collection brush, but I bought it yesterday to use as a bronzer brush, and I really like it. I'm going to take this bronze shade right here, and I'm just going to bronze my cheeks up a little bit. So I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go into this middle shade here, and this is like a shimmery bronzy pink shade, and I'm going to add that right to the outer parts of my cheeks and my forehead just to kind of give myself a nice glow. This is an ashier shade. If you guys have noticed, it's not super warm. It kind of gives some ash to my skin, so I will go in and blend it a little bit better with a loose powder brush in a moment. Take a mixture of this shade and this shade, and I'm going to put it under my lash line. So now I'm just going to add some Better Than Sex mascara to the bottom, and I'm going to come back, do my eyebrows, and finish up my face, and we will be done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Colourpop brow pencil. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's kind of washed out, but the Colourpop brow pencil, and this is in the shade Dope Taupe, I think. And I actually really like this pencil. This is, again, my 3rd time using it. And the color is a little tiny bit red, I think, for what taupe would be, but it looks good on my eyebrows. Just, you can't heavily draw. The only thing I don't like is you can't retract the pencil, so once it's like up, it's up. The next thing I'm going to do is I got the Brow Boss gel from Colourpop as well. I'm really interested in this because I love eyebrow gels. I'm ride or die though for the Benefit eyebrow gel. But this one comes in just like a little container like this. It's actually super small. Like, try to hold it up. That's my thumb, and that's the eyebrow gel. So it is pretty small. I don't remember how much I paid for this, but it is a cream kind of gel. It's not clear. It comes, like, it dries clear, but when it goes on almost like, it looks like glue. But I was pleasantly surprised with this as well when I used it last. It doesn't give your eyebrows like a hard feeling. Like, the Benefit one does give your eyebrows like a hard feeling. This one is just, like I said, like a paste basically. But it does hold your brows pretty much all day. It kind of wiped away a little bit of product right there. So I'm gonna just take my spoolie and brush this up a little bit, and I'm gonna take the pencil and just go back in because it did take away a little piece of my brow that I filled in. So I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit of it and just touch that up. The next thing I'm gonna do is take the Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in the shade Electric Slide, and I'm just gonna put this on my highlight areas. So I'm going to take the Colourpop All-Star Face Setting Spray, and this was $10 as well, I believe, as I drop it out of the box. I've used this obviously already. The bottle is almost identical to the Urban Decay one. It has the same literal packaging, I feel like. I don't even think there's a difference in width. Yeah, there's not. They're literally the same. The sprayer is almost the same. Again, I really like it. This is probably one of the first setting sprays that I found besides the Urban Decay that I don't have to take out of the bottle and transfer into the Urban Decay bottle. So I am going to spray my face with this quickly. And I'm going to let this dry for a minute, and then I will pat it into my skin. It smells like there's like a tea tree in it, or something of that nature, which I guess would make sense because tea tree is like an acne fighting mattifying kind of oil. This definitely sets my makeup. It definitely keeps me matte for most of the day. I don't know if it's a combination of this and the spray, but I've worn this again for the last 3 days and it's freaking phenomenal. And especially for the $10, as long as it doesn't break me out, I'm literally gonna buy like 3 or 4 more. Bottom of my beauty sponge and lightly press the rest of this into my skin. As far as like softening up the makeup, I will say this does not like take away a powdery look. Like if you have too much powder on your face, I would totally suggest Fix Plus and then this if you don't want to look too cakey, because I did find the first time I wore it I looked a little bit cakey, because I do find that the Colourpop foundation does make me look a bit cakey if I don't diffuse it with the Fix Plus. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lips. Is the Kathleen Lights Colourpop collaboration, and it's Moonchild. And then this is like my all-time favorite besides Lychee Me, the Karuchi collab. Like I wish they made a million more of those because I'm like scraping the bottle for that color. Like that was my perfect nude for summer, because it was like a perfect brown nude. But this is like my all-time favorite. This was the first Colourpop lip gloss I ever bought, and this is Fairy Floss. I have like 4 of them and I've used them all. But I'm gonna take Moonchild first, which is like a glittery like nudie pink, and I'm gonna put this down. And I'm going to take Fairy Floss and just put it right on the center of my lips. Finished look. I love it. I hope you guys like it. As far as the products go, I've loved every single product that I've used. As far as the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette goes, I like it a lot. I think it did a pretty good job performance wise, and it also worked really well the other day when I wore it. I used some of the pink shades, and the eyeshadow stayed on my eyes for a solid like 12 hours before they started to crack, and that was primed obviously. So I do think that it is a nice palette. Do I think it's worth $62? Definitely not. The shades aren't anything like unreal. Like I touch Natasha Denona shadows and I'm like, oh my god, totally beautiful. But as far as the shadows, they're okay. Like they're not horrible. If you have $62 to spend on the palette and you're like a collector, or you want to collect it, or if you just want it for the fact that like the packaging is super awesome. I have my fingerprints all over it, but the packaging is super beautiful. It's a nice piece to just sit on the vanity. And if you like Future, it kind of reminds me of that album cover, like I said, but it's not a necessity, absolutely not, I don't think. But I really thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe below. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see. I've tried to keep up on like the new launches and the new releases, and tried to kind of keep my content fresh. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Bye.